of yesteryear. And friends, today it is a Hilula, 8th of Elul, Chet Elul, of a great rabbi from Greece, Rabbi Hasdei, HaKohen, Farahia, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. He was actually born around the year 1604, 1605, and passed away in the English year 1677, to be precise, on the 5th of September. That happened to be. He became a great rabbi, a dayan, a judge, a posek halacha, a great rabbi, rendering various different halachic Torah law cases, and also he would become the chief rabbi of Salonika, which is a very prestigious position. This was in at the time, a great city in Greece, and he was the author of the Sheilot and Shuvot book called the Taurat Chesed. So let's explore a few of the highlights of the rabbi's great life. So he was born in Saloniki at the time of Yavan, part of the Ottoman Empire, naturally in Greece, and he came from very great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was Rabbi Shmuel, who happened to be the Chacham of the city, the main rabbi of the city in of itself. He himself was a grandson of another great rabbi, Rabbi Farahia HaKohen, who was also one of the heads of this grandiose family of a famous family of the HaKohen Pharahia, which has a real great lineage in of itself, especially among world Torah Jewry. His rabbi happened to be Rabbi Chaim Shabtai. It's a rabbi we've actually spoken about on various different occasions. He happened to be one of the great rabbis of Salonika and the author of the book called the Taurat Chaim. And he would get married to Rabbanit Simcha, I believe. He would then become the congregation rabbi of the main Italian community in Saloniki, which is a very prominent position, and will then afterwards, I believe, be appointed as a judge and a Rosh Yeshiva in the vicinity of the main yeshiva over there, if I'm not mistaken. I think in the Hebrew year, Hey, Taf Lamed Aleph, this is approximately the period of 1670, after the passing of Rabbi Menachem Sholem, who was another great rabbi, who happened to be the chief rabbi of Saloniki. He was appointed in his place, Rabbi Hasdei was, which was a very great position at that point in time. And he had, I believe, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Shabtai, who happened to be the son of the great Rabbi Menachem, happened to be his deputy at the time. And very, very prestigious position this was. He was one of the great rabbis of the generation, rendered and wrote many of his different halachic teachings. Also, he was part of the time corresponding and learning and speaking with Rabbi Chaim ben Abishti, who happened to be the author of the famous Knesset HaGdolah book. Also, he himself also was close, I believe, with Rabbi Moshe ben Abishti, happened to be his son of Rabbi Chaim. Also, other great rabbis, he was in the same cluster of people, with include Rabbi Chaim Moshe Alevi HaNazir, another great rabbi. Rabbi Yosef Chazan happened to be the author of the colossal Torah work, the Ayin Yehosaf. Also, and he himself was one of the great rabbis, and Abbed Din also in Izmir in Turkey. And Rabbi Baruch Engel, another great rabbi, who himself, I believe, happened to be a Rosh Yeshiva and also a rabbi of Saloniki, and author of various different Sheilot and Shuvot books also. Okay, so it's actually interesting. He actually corresponded with many people all throughout the rabbis of the entire global encompassment, as we can say, even including in areas like Malta. He would discuss various different halachic issues taking place, also in Europe, also especially in areas such as Vilna, also in Hungary, also in various different places. Many of the people of this specific generation all over the world corresponded to him and really took his halachic renderings in the highest esteem. Also, he passed away, as we stated before, in the year 1677, I believe, and he passed away actually was buried, I believe, in Greece, in Saloniki also. So it's actually interesting. He had left many very great descendants, also including a son, Rabbi Chaim, who I think he himself was also the Chacham of the city of Saloniki. Also, he passed away in the year Hey Taf Pei Gimel. This was, I think, around the year 1723. He was a great rabbi of the city himself. He wasn't, I don't think he was Chacham Bashiba. He was a great rabbi in the city. Then another one of his sons was Rabbi Shmuel. Another one, Rabbi Abraham, who I believe was his third son. He became a great Chacham and a judge also in Saloniki. He passed away, I believe, actually on Yud Aleph Elul, in the Hebrew year Hey Taf Ayin Tet. This was around the time period of 1719. Also, he left many great Talmidim. Also, some of the students were really great, including Rabbi Aaron HaKohen Pharahia, who was, I think, a close relative of his. Also, he happened to be the author of the Torah colossal work, the Perach Mata Aaron. Another one of his great students, Rabbi Yaakov the Boton, also another great rabbi there, author of the colossal book, the Edut B'Yaakov. Then there was Rabbi Michael HaKohen, happened to be the author of the More Tzedek. Rabbi Daniel Girassi, happened to, I think, print various different books, including Odah Hashem, if I'm not mistaken, also. So his main Torah work was called the Taurat Chesed. I believe this was printed 45 years after he had passed away, I believe, to be precise, in the year Heishin Pei Gimel. This was, if I'm not mistaken, that was when the writings was a shut. It was Sheilot and Shuvot called the Taurat Chesed, which had various different answers with regards to various different halachic questions, which was printed, I think, through Rabbi Moshe Amirilin, who he himself, Rabbi Amirilin, happened to be one of the great rabbis. He passed away in 1748, a Posek Halacha and Parshan of the Rambam also, and he wrote the book, the Devar Moshe also, and Halacha Moshe and other books also. It was printed and became very, very well recepted and very well learned. Also, other things, he rendered many different great halachic answers also we could add on, and many of it was actually put in manuscript and printed later on, especially various different teshuvot answers that he gave, I think was printed in the Sifrei Talmidav called Edut B'Yaakov and the Perach Mate Aaron, which you mentioned before. And I think it was part of the Sheilot Shuvot, part of the Torah Moshe book. Also, once again, I think through Rabbi Moshe Shabtai, a good friend of his also. And I think there was a Sheilot and Shuvot book of Halacha that was actually printed during his lifetime, if I'm not mistaken, which included various different drushim also and chidushim. I think it was based on the Torahs or the chalakim of the Choshen Mishpat and the various different teachings with regards to different mesechtot in all throughout Shas, throughout the Talmud Bavli in of itself. So his Hilula was on Het Elul, the 8th of Elul. Please, next time you hear about it, light candles in his memory. Also, he was one of the great rabbis of his generation, of Greece, of Salonik'i. Also, the student of Rabbi Chaim Shabtai. And please learn more about him. He, as we said before, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Shabtai would actually replace him as a Chacham Bashi of Salonik'i. The rabbi before him was Rabbi Menachem Sholem. So wishing all a great day. I hope this was thought-provocative, and take care.